Ever wonder if skipping meals could supercharge your testosterone? Today we're tackling a burning question. Does intermittent fasting help regulate or even boost testosterone levels in men? Many guys swear by fasting to get lean and healthy, but when it comes to our chief male hormone, is fasting a friend or foe? Stick around because we'll reveal the surprising truth, backed by the latest human studies, in the final act. What does testosterone do for men, really? What's the big deal about testosterone? Think of testosterone as the fuel for many classic male traits. It's the hormone that helps build muscle size and strength, fires up your libido, influences your mood and confidence, and even affects energy levels and fat storage. In other words, testosterone is a cornerstone of men's health. Low testosterone can drag down your metabolic health, sap muscle building, and dampen your sex drive. Clearly, men have good reason to care about keeping T levels in an optimal range. The takeaway: testosterone isn't just about machismo. It's central to feeling strong, sharp, and virile. And that's exactly why any diet that might raise or lower testosterone gets a lot of attention. Why are men turning to intermittent fasting? So, why would men willingly skip breakfast or even whole days of eating? Intermittent fasting, IF, has exploded in popularity for a few key reasons. First off, it's a proven fat buster. Simplifying eating windows often leads to consuming fewer calories, helping guys shed unwanted weight. Dropping excess fat can reveal muscle and even improve hormone profiles. In fact, many men hope fasting will trim the gut while keeping or even boosting muscle, essentially a body recomposition hack. Some athletes and gym goers use IF to cut weight for competition or to stay lean year-round, and research backs up that you can maintain muscle and strength on a well-designed fasting routine. Secondly, there's the promise of better health and longevity. Fasting has been linked to improved insulin sensitivity and even cellular cleanup processes. There's also buzz that fasting spikes human growth hormone, HGH, which might sound anabolic. One study found a 5-fold increase in growth hormone after 2 days of fasting. With benefits like weight loss, improved metabolism, and even anti-aging whispers, it's no surprise men are experimenting with IF. The catch? Many assume these perks include higher testosterone. But is that true? We're about to find out. Fasting effects: lean versus overweight, two different stories. Does fasting affect all men's testosterone the same way? Here's where it gets interesting. Your starting body composition, basically whether you're lean or carrying extra fat, seems to make a big difference in how IF impacts your T levels. If you're a lean, fit guy, brace yourself. Multiple studies show that intermittent fasting can actually lower testosterone in already healthy men. In one trial, weight-trained young men followed a 16-to-8 time-restricted feeding, 16 hours fast, 8 hours eating, for 8 weeks. Their total testosterone dropped significantly by the end of the study, whereas a control group eating normally saw no change. Another long-term study found similar results. After a full year on a daily 8-hour eating window with resistance training, men's testosterone was notably lower than in those on a regular diet. Surprisingly, these fasting men still maintained their muscle mass and strength despite the hormone dip. The takeaway for lean guys: intermittent fasting isn't a magic testosterone booster. In fact, it might dial T down a notch, even though you won't necessarily lose muscle or strength. Now, what if you're overweight? This flips the script. For men with obesity or extra belly fat, intermittent fasting can indirectly raise testosterone levels, essentially regulating a low T situation upward. How? Excess fat promotes conversion of testosterone to estrogen and can impair testicular function. When overweight men lose weight through calorie restriction or fasting, studies show their testosterone can rebound as body fat falls. One review noted that in obese individuals, fasting and weight loss improved markers of testicular function and reduced that conversion of T into estrogen. In fact, a rigorous diet trial, 800 calories a day for 3 months, in obese men significantly boosted their testosterone production signal, the L-HT ratio, a sign that their bodies were revving up T output after shedding fat. The mechanism is basically less fat, less sabotage of testosterone. Bottom line, if you're heavier and have low T, dropping weight via intermittent fasting can give your testosterone a much-needed lift. But if you're already lean with normal T, fasting probably won't raise your levels. It might subtly lower them instead. Does fasting longer or training harder change the picture? Maybe a short daily fast is one thing, but what about longer fasts? And how does exercise fit in? Let's talk fasting duration first. Intermittent fasting comes in many flavors, from moderate daily fast to extended multi-day stints. The longer or more extreme the fast, the more pronounced the testosterone effects tend to be, and not in a good way. For example, consider the month of Ramadan, when men routinely fast, mileage 12 or more hours each day from dawn to dusk. One study on healthy men during Ramadan found that testosterone levels dropped steadily as the fasting weeks went by. By the 20th day, T had significantly declined, from around 7.2 down to 5.7 nanograms per milliliter on average, and remained lower at the end of the month. In an even more extreme scenario, fasting around the clock for days on end can tank your T fast. Young men who did a continuous 3-day fast saw about a 35% plunge in their testosterone levels. That's a drastic change in just 72 hours of 0 calories. The pattern is clear. Longer fasting periods amplify the testosterone lowering effect. It's as if the body says, food is scarce, let's dial down reproduction for now. So, while a 14 to 16 hour daily fast might cause a small dip, pushing fasting to multiple days can send testosterone free-falling. Now, what about training while fasting? Many men combine IF with workouts, hoping to maximize fat loss or convenience. The good news is that exercising in a fasted state doesn't seem to worsen the situation, and might even offset some downsides. Remember those studies in lean lifters? Those guys were hitting the gym regularly, and despite lower testosterone, they did not lose muscle or strength compared to non-fasters. In the 8-week trial, both the fasting group and the normal diet group gained strength and kept their lean mass just fine. In other words, working out acted like a safety net for muscle gains, even though hormone levels fluctuated. Some research on Ramadan fasting also suggests timing workouts strategically, like in the evening after some food, can help maintain performance. The key takeaway here, staying active while fasting helps your body adapt. Even if testosterone dips a bit, resistance training can preserve muscle and keep you feeling strong. Just don't expect your lifting session to magically spike your T when you're deep into a fast. The hormonal response is blunted when you haven't eaten, as several studies indicate. Overall, longer fasts equals bigger T drops, but a solid exercise routine can protect you from the negative effects on muscle and fitness. So, does intermittent fasting regulate testosterone? The verdict. Here's the moment of truth. Does intermittent fasting help regulate testosterone levels in men? The answer is a double-edged sword. It depends on your starting point. For men carrying extra weight, intermittent fasting can be a game changer that indirectly boosts testosterone. By shedding fat, you remove the roadblocks that were suppressing your T, often leading to higher testosterone readings and all the benefits that come with that. In this sense, yes, fasting can regulate an abnormally low testosterone level back toward normal in overweight individuals. However, if you're already lean and healthy, intermittent fasting is not a testosterone hack. In fact, it tends to nudge your T down slightly. Current studies in fit young men show modest drops in testosterone with both short-term and long-term fasting routines, with no major harm done to muscle or strength. There's no evidence that skipping meals will skyrocket your T beyond your natural baseline. So for the average man considering IF, ask yourself, what's your goal? If you need to lose weight for health, fasting is a powerful tool that may also raise a low testosterone into a better range as a happy side effect. But if you're hoping to boost an already normal testosterone level, fasting likely won't give you that edge. And going to extremes, like multi-day fasts, could actually leave you with lower T and a lower libido to show for it. In summary, here are the key takeaways for the men's tribe from today's deep dive. Fasting helps if you have weight to lose. By cutting fat, intermittent fasting can increase testosterone in overweight men, restoring healthier levels along with improvements in metabolism. Fasting hurts, a little, if you're already lean. In fit men, IF tends to slightly reduce testosterone rather than boost it. It's not a dramatic crash, but it's the opposite of a hormonal uptick. Don't fear losing muscle on IF. Even with a dip in T, men maintained muscle mass and strength while fasting in multiple studies, especially when continuing to exercise. Adequate protein and smart training go a long way. Watch out for extreme fasting. Prolonged fasting several days can cause a sharp fall in testosterone. That might impact your energy, mood, and libido, so approach extended fasts with caution. Everyone's response can differ. Listen to your body. If intermittent fasting leaves you feeling great and you're meeting your fitness goals, awesome. If you notice signs of low T, like fatigue or decreased drive, it might be time to tweak your fasting routine or caloric intake. So, to answer the big question, intermittent fasting can help regulate testosterone only in certain cases, mainly by raising low levels via weight loss. It's not a universal testosterone booster for all men. For optimal hormone health, pair fasting with balanced nutrition, good sleep, and resistance training. The fundamentals still rule. And always remember, what works for one man's body might be different for another's. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, do smash that like button and let us know your thoughts or questions in the comments. And of course, subscribe to the Men's Tribe for more science-backed insights on men's health and performance. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.